Hi, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for coming. So this is the second recorded webinar, but it should be the first one you watched. I've been getting a lot of questions from people that are really interested in health writing and what it is. So whenever I get a lot of questions, I realize that it's a great learning opportunity. So I actually went back and recorded another webinar. So let's get started. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is the beginner's guide to health writing. Is it for me? What is it? I've never heard of this. If these are the questions you're asking, you're in the right place. So my name is Janelle Borowski. I'm a master's educated registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for about 6 years now, and I've been a writer for about 4 years now as of 2023. I own Willow Bark Health Writing, an LLC that I started when I got into writing. So that is me. I'm an avid traveler. That's me hiking in Utah. And that's also me working on a sustainable flower farm out in Washington. One of the reasons why I really love writing is because it gave me the freedom to work remotely, pick my own hours, be my own boss, and leave whenever I want. So I can build my own vacation times, build my own sick times, and I don't have to find coverage or ask permission. I just leave. I can either take my laptop with me and work on the go, or I can just tell my clients that, hey, I'm unavailable for these dates. I'm not taking work at this time. So I found that it was really conducive to my lifestyle, which is one of the reasons that I really went after it. I think that your job should reflect your lifestyle and that you shouldn't be trying to squish your lifestyle around your job. Your work-life balance should be at the forefront of what you're doing, which is not what we really see in healthcare. Nursing or healthcare in general, we aren't really known for that sustainable work-life balance, which is why I'm such a strong advocate of non-traditional nursing roles. So who have I worked with? Who even am I and why am I talking? Why do I even matter? So I worked with some pretty big names and I've worked with some pretty small names over the years. I've worked with people in Germany, Singapore, all over the world, the United States. I've worked with large publications. I've worked with small mom and pop publications. These are some of the bigger names that you've probably seen. So Health Grades, Practical Neurology, Study.com, Haymarket, Health News. Alphanumeric is a medical communication agency. And then I also work for Medical News Today. I just didn't fit it in here. So those are some of the big names I've worked with. It's limitless though. Anytime that you Google, why does my head hurt? What is this rash? A health writer wrote that article, and that's actually called a blog. So that's a health blog. So what is health or medical writing? So I might use these words interchangeably because when you're starting off, they're pretty similar to the layperson, and they also have a lot of overlapping similarities. You get your clients the same way, you'll send your invoices the same way, you'll get paid the same way, but the type of writing is different. So health writing is a lot, I guess, gentler. Those are more blogs for the lay person. Medical writing is really like biostatistic heavy for clinicians, but you might see me using them interchangeably on here because they're both options and they're both super similar in a lot of their teachable points. So what is this? What is this role? So a health or medical writer is a paid writer who researches, drafts, and writes articles on health or medical concepts. There's tons of sub niches to this type of writing, and we'll go into the different types of deliverables, deliverable just means like different content that you can write later on. So what does it look like? I love freelance writing or medical writing or health writing in general because I like to think of it as a pick your own adventure type of thing. So it can be full-time, part-time, or work as needed. I actually started off just trying to make a couple extra hundred a week to supplement my income. And then I realized that there's a ton of work out there. People kept asking me to work more. And I was like, this is a lot of fun. So then I went part-time and then I went full-time. You don't have to do full-time. You don't have to do part-time. You can just do a blog here, a blog there, or you can dive in. It's really whatever you want it to be, which I really find comforting. Being your own boss, you get that total flexibility, which is great to remember. So going into being your own boss, you can set your own hours. So if you're not a morning person, amazing. Start working at 10. No one cares. If you're a night owl, cool. Start working at 9 p.m. If you want to take a bathroom break, fabulous. Do it. Take a walk. You have a doctor's appointment in the middle of the day. You don't have to ask permission. Most of the time, there aren't meetings. As long as you get the work done, you're an adult and you're left to your own devices. You also get to set your own pay. So I don't know if you guys are on step scales. That's super popular with nursing, or if you were denied a pay promotion. I know I was. So I decided I was just going to give myself a promotion, which is how this entire thing started. So imagine never having to ask anyone for a promotion again in that way. You can just negotiate it. So I give myself raises all the time. Whenever I feel like giving myself a raise, I give myself a raise because I'm my own boss and I can do that. So I just negotiate higher rates with my clients. So you work for who you want. This isn't like a hospital or a bedside role where you have to take that patient. If you feel like you're not jiving with the client, you can just politely decline. You don't have to work with anyone you don't want to work with. If you're not drawn to a certain role, if you think it's boring, if you're not into writing about skin diseases, you don't have to do that. You can very politely say, no, thank you. And there are plenty of other fish in that sea. And there's another health writer that would be thrilled to work with that person. So that's really awesome. We already talked about taking sick days or vacations, but it's as needed. There's no limit to that, which is really nice. So you're responsible for your one-person company. So you're a little bit of everything. So you're the marketer, you're the accountant, which sounds a little bit heavy at first, but you really do get used to it. And you do spend most of the time writing. You're not like, stressed out over taxes or anything like that. It's just something to keep in mind that it is more of an over-encompassing role, which I actually enjoyed because it made me grow more confident as a person as my business grew, which was really cool to see the personal growth there. So this is a very scalable venture. We talked about setting your own rates. You can start doing other deliverables. So it's very scalable and it's very sustainable. And then one of my favorite things is you can work remote, hybrid, or in person. Remote is the most common. So if you've been seeking that remote nursing role or healthcare worker role, this is definitely a viable option. The hybrid or in-person roles, those are more common with like full-time or part-time positions, less so with freelancing. So if you don't fully want to go remote, I definitely recommend looking for a part-time or full-time position for like an actual publication. That would be the best route for that. But once again, it's a choose your own adventure, being your own boss. You get to seek that out. So the flexibility is definitely something that I never found in the healthcare sector. So that's definitely a really cool aspect that drew me into this role. Okay, what can you write? I'm not going to go over this entire thing. I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to review it. And I'm also going to bring up that every single thing you've ever seen in a hospital, at the bedside, working in a clinic, anything that you've read had to be written by someone. And that person was a health or medical writer. Anytime you've seen an email sent out from like a hospital, like advertisement, anytime you've seen a billboard, anytime a med spa has opened and they're sending out like advertisements, anytime a commercial has gone across the screen about a new medication, someone had to write that script. Someone had to write the multiple documents for it to get approved by the FDA. Someone had to write the clinical procedures for the medication to be tested on humans before it was approved. And someone had to write the medical articles for that medication as well. So that's all the documents. That's not even all the documents for every single medication commercial that you've seen. Oh, you also have to write the labeling too. So if you like kind of like just extrapolate that to every single medication in every single country in every like all over the world, it's actually wild to think about. So this market is huge. They're definitely looking for healthcare workers in particular because we're considered experts in our field. So it's a crazy niche to be in because they want you, which is wild because it's weird to leave the bedside and to be like this coveted person in another niche that you didn't know about. So like websites, landing pages, social media posts, you could do TikTok, you can do Instagram, you can do Facebook, you can do LinkedIn posts, you can ghostwrite ebooks, you can do news briefs, job descriptions, blogs, so much. And this is not even an exhaustive list. This is just what I could come up with in about 10 minutes. You can do infographics if you're like one of those visual learners, any video script you've ever seen for like workplaces, like, you know, orientation when you go in the first day. Those were all written by a health writer. So it really is limitless. It's a really cool niche to be in. So what are the pros? We're going to go over the pros and we're going to go over the cons because I believe in being honest and I also believe in knowing what you're getting yourself into and understanding the complete picture. So this is an entry-level job. So you don't need another certification. You don't need any background in journalism. You don't need another degree. Your background is enough and you can get a job as is. You don't need a lot of capital to start. I didn't buy anything to start. I literally, which this leads into the next one, the only supplies I had to start were my super old laptop and my internet. So your capital to start is like what, $40 a month for your internet and a laptop, which you may or may not have. If you don't have a laptop, you literally only need one with a word processing unit. So like Gmail and like Google Chrome. That's pretty much all you need. So there's not a lot of barriers to entry. This isn't like starting your own brick and mortar store where like you have to like buy a building and then buy product and then hire people. You can start just with your internet, just with your laptop with almost no capital, which is pretty wild to think about because you can make pretty good money pretty fast. So nurses are field experts. We already went over that. They want us there. We have something no one else has, which is actual experience at the bedside. No one else has this. So journalists can look up oncology for, you know, a couple of hours a week, but not only have we studied it for years in school, some of us have worked on oncology floors. So we've done patient education. We have lived and breathed those medications. We have seen what those disease processes do to a family, to a person. And that really brings out an empathetic tone and a point of view that no one else has. So that's really unique to us. And that's a huge strength that we have and that we're actually sought after. So we're field experts in a way that no one else will understand. So that's huge. Another pro, we've already talked about total freedom of being your own boss, freedom to work wherever you want, pick your own rates, pick your own vacations, take a break when you want, eat when you want. I was never allowed to take a break when I wanted on the floor. I could never eat when I wanted. I had to take whatever patient came through, regardless of if they were not my favorite. Which I think, you know, is how healthcare should be. I do. But it's nice to step back from that because your mental health does suffer with that martyrdom mentality. Sustainable growth and income. We've already talked about how scalable this is and how many clients there are out there, along with how many deliverables there are you can write. So say you pick advertisements, you can pick advertisements for homeopathic clinics, you can pick advertisements for hospitals, you can pick advertisements for med spas, you could do just Facebook advertisements, you could do email marketing. There's so many different like little sub niches that you can find your way into. So that's, you know, the growth and income in here is just so wild to And I also just talked about the tons of niches and deliverables to choose from. So there really is something for everyone. You can be a generalist like me, where you'll take almost everything with healthcare. That being said, I don't love writing tech. I really won't write informatics stuff. Or you can decide, hey, I only want to write informatics, and that's great too. Or, hey, I only want to write thought leadership. That's awesome. There are places for you in this world. Publications want to hear from nurses. We just talked about that for field experts. Ability to scale. We already talked about that with sustainable growth and income. And I really love this part. It can be a side hustle or a full career. Guys, this is just going to be a side hustle for me. I did not think that I was going to come up with a down payment for my house or any of the other financial goals that I've made. I just started off wanting to make a couple hundred a week, and that's what I did. So one of the examples that I like to use, because it's very like you can grasp it easily. If you write one blog a week, that's $300 for one blog. Probably it'd take you about 4 hours about that. So I don't know, banging out on a Thursday night, whatever, $300 a week. Over the course of the year, I did the math, that's like $14,000 before tax. That's like a lot of money. That's like a really good chunk for only one blog. So say you do 2 blogs, that's like almost $30,000, a little bit less, like 28. That's like really scalable, you guys. That's really, really scalable. I hope my math is right on the 30,000. I've never doubled it. I'm really bad at math, but it's really scalable, which I love. If you're a freelancer, there is no like lock in. You see your contract and you can decide, like, I only want to do 2 blogs a week. I only want to do 1 blog a week. I only want to do like 5. Whatever you want to do, you get to set. You're your own boss. You can set your own limits, and they can change. If your availability changes, say you want to do 3 blogs one week, 1 blog the next week, 2 the next week, that's totally fine too. Life changes, that's cool. Okay, so what are the cons? Like I said, I believe in honesty and getting the full picture. So you're your own boss, you have multiple responsibilities. So you have to be able to prioritize, you have to be able to organize, and you have to be a little bit of a type A personality. You can't really like lose track of like your deadlines or your deliverables or your clients. So I definitely recommend getting into a system of just like being able to track things. It's not like crazy overwhelming. I really think that like doing a heavy med pass is way worse than keeping track of a business, honestly. I really don't think it's that bad, but if you struggle with organization, it is something to keep in mind. You're definitely going to be an organizer. You also have to be like motivated. So you're not going to have a boss standing over you. So you're going to have to be like self-motivated. It might be a little bit of a transition at first. I know it was for me, but like after the first month, I just got used to it. Keep a to-do list, keep a spreadsheet, keep a calendar, those type of things. It's nothing that's wild. It's nothing that you can't handle, but you are your own boss. So you just have to keep in mind that you do have multiple responsibilities that you didn't have. You did have at the bedside though. You did. So the other thing is there is something called the feast and famine cycle during the first few months, but it does even out. So the feast and famine cycle means, so it means that when you start out, you have no clients, right? Because you're brand new, you don't know what you're doing. So what you do is you reach out to a ton of clients and they all get back to you at once. So then you have a ton of work. But because you reach out to them all at once, and none of them are what we call retainer clients, or they could be, mine right away, all were retainer clients. But if they aren't retainer clients, then their short-term contracts might end at the end of, say, the first month. So you go from having like 8 clients the first month, you're so busy, and then you have no clients because they all end at the first month. So then you go from that feast to that famine. So then you reach out to 18 clients again, get a bunch of feasts, and then get a bunch of famine. It's very normal. It's what happens. There are ways to level it out. It happened to me, but it really wasn't that bad. I was never in a position where I had no clients at all. And the way to fix that is just to stay at the bedside per diem, part-time, a couple of shifts, or have like another slightly sustainable income just to like buffer yourself for like the first couple of months. It really does even out though with anchor clients. You also get used to knowing like the writing on the wall. Like if you have anchor clients, that's a steady income. Those are your clients. And an anchor client is just a long-term client. If you have those short-term clients though, you're going to realize when they're slowing down, you're going to get less work. Communication is going to start to cut off. You're going to see the writing on the wall and you're going to be able to reach out to other clients sooner. So the feast and famine cycle does definitely even out, but it's hectic in the beginning. So I will say that. If you're freelancing, you need to find your clients. At first, that's definitely true. That is a con. So you can't just like sit there. It's not like a super passive thing. Like in the hospital, I mean, I don't want to say this because like you were working in the hospital. You had to work for your money. But for freelancing, you do have to actively find your clients. I will say that I am at the point where my clients now find me. So it's not always going to be like that. If you find those anchor clients, then you actually don't have to do client acquisition because they're already your clients for an extended period of time. And then also, sorry, I'm going dark right here. It also gets to the point where your clients will just find you and they'll just be like, hey, do you want this work? And you can say yes or no. But at first you do have to find your clients, and that might be the same that way for like a year or two. So it's just something to keep in mind. It is an added responsibility. That being said, it's really not that hard to find clients once you get the methods down. They are definitely out there and they're definitely eager to hear from you, but it is an added responsibility just to keep in mind. If you're a freelancer, it doesn't come with benefits. So you need to get your health insurance through the federal public portal. If you're from the United States, if you're from Canada, you guys are fabulous. You're doing your own thing and we are all super jealous. But if you're from the United States, you have to have a backup plan. So you can be on a spouse's health insurance, or you can just go to the federal, I think it's called the Federal Health Marketplace, or some states have their own marketplace as well. So not super hard, but once again, something to keep in mind. And you can't just cruise through and not work. So I don't know. You ever have like a super slow shift? I know they're like rare, but like I have had them, where you just like show up and like, oh, thank God, like nothing goes wrong and you're just kind of there. Like I said, I know it's rare, but it's happened. That's not the same with freelancing. You do have to work. If you're not working, you're not making money. That being said, I do think it's easier. My hardest day freelancing was so much easier than my like mediocre day on the hospital or on the clinic floor. So I think the work is definitely easier, but you can't just do nothing. One thing that I didn't put on here is you have to get an accountant for taxes. Not a huge deal, but no one pays your taxes. I don't even begin to tackle that monster. I get an accountant. I recommend that everyone get an accountant. There's also software that can help you these days, so it's not as big of a deal as it was probably like 10 years ago. QuickBooks is a really good recommendation for that, but it's just something to keep in mind. That's like another thing in the back of your mind, like, oh, I need to get an accountant. Not super expensive or anything, but it is just like on your to-do list. It is a con. It is something that you have to do where your worker was always doing it for you. It's just something that you need to be aware of. So those are the major cons. So what are the requirements? I get this all the time. What do I need? So what I'm going to say really quickly, what don't you need? I said it before, you don't need a certification. You don't need a college degree in this. You don't need a journalism background, and you don't need prior experience writing. So what do you need? So you need to be able to write a 5-paragraph essay with an introduction and a conclusion paragraph. That's a blog. That's all a blog is. You need a solid grasp of English and grammar concepts. And there is software actually to help you with grammar. So, I mean, my grammar is like pretty solid. I know how to like slap together a sentence, but if you're like rusty on preposition, like prepositional phrases and commas and everything like that, there's actually software that will help you, and it's free software. So there's tips and tricks to the trade that will help you. You just have to know like the basics. You have to perform accurate research on medical topics. So you need to know what is accurate, what's inaccurate, what's peer reviewed, what is current, what's not current, what is a trustworthy source, what's not a trustworthy source. Don't use Wikipedia, where to get that information from, that sort of thing. Most of the time they'll teach you that in nursing school, which is really cool. You need to be able to organize and prioritize. We already went through that before, but you're going to be your own boss. So you just need to be a little bit of a type A personality, which if you were working on the floor, this is great for you. You need to be able to multitask. So you'll have probably multiple clients, deadlines, invoices due. Once you get a system down, it's really not bad. It just comes down to tracking things, having a document where you're just like checking things off, you know, where you are with everything. Don't even try and do it by memory. Just like, you know, have a system and just go back there, reference it and cross things off when you're doing. Be motivated. You're your own boss. No one's going to be looking over your shoulder to make sure you're writing. So you just have to do that. And be able to see the big picture. So be able to know where you are in that feast cycle, that famine cycle, reaching out to clients, that type of thing. Just being your own boss comes with that. So how does it work? It really depends on what route you take. As an employee, you just apply and get a job as a writer after building a portfolio. And then as a freelancer, you find your own clients, negotiate your rates and your contracts. And these can be either short-term or long-term contracts. That long-term contracts, those were the retainer clients that we were talking about. So that's the niche, or that's the concepts right there. So that's how it works. Those are the two routes that you can take, either full-time employee, part-time employee, or freelancer. Oops, I don't know what that pop-up was. Sorry about that, guys. So how can I help? What do I offer? So I offer the super fantabulous writing course, aka the introduction to freelance writing course. So this is the only course you will ever need for your first at least year of writing. It comes with 30 templates that you can just edit, send. It comes with an invoice template. It comes with the email template that you can send out to publications. I make it so easy, you guys. I want you to succeed. I want you to be in this industry. I want you to have the freedom that I have. It's not fair if you're stressed out, if you're not happy in your role. I want you to be happy because I am so happy in my new role. It's 220 pages. I think it has like something like 14 modules. We go over how to get clients, how to scale, how to do rates, mental health issues that come with it, just like writer's block, that type of thing, how to get out of it, how to set up your business. At the end of every module, I have key takeaways, which are just like bullet points in case you're skimmers and you don't want to read. Guys, I gotcha. We also have homework at the end of everything. It's just like simple tasks for you to do so that at the end of this course, you are set up, your business is set up, you're taking clients, your portfolio is built, you know your niche, and you are ready to go. This is what you need to go from zero to sustainable income in a niche you like. So this is definitely the biggest thing. It comes with a exclusive LinkedIn group where I'll be putting the leads that I find and everything like that. I'm not going to be like finding you specific leads, but if I find a lead, I'm going to be sending it there. If I find any tips, I'll be sending it there. So you get exclusive help there. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM, send me an email, that type of thing. I can answer quick questions. That's the best. We do a la carte mentor sessions, mentorship sessions. I also have a free newsletter. And I also, the other really great package that I like is the guest blogging and portfolio building package. So you get a posted blog, like a blog post on my blog. So to build your portfolio, because that's one of the things you need, that like they're going to ask, like when you reach out to a publication, they're going to ask, hey, can you send your work? Like, where's your portfolio? And that's just like your like mock-up work. So you get a published piece. I'll write a testimonial for you, so you can use me as a reference for any future projects. I will show you the basics of how to write a blog. I'll edit it. I'll show you why I edit it so you understand what's going on. I'll send you a blog template so you know how to write it, why it's formatted, everything like that. We'll go over SEO basics, which is like Google talk. Pretty much it's what they want you to do for blogs. It's a big deal in the industry. We'll go over stuff like that. It's a whole package, you guys. It's fabulous. So those are the resources I offer. So how can I help you guys? I can help you get clients, build your portfolio, explain the different types of writing, because there are literally so many. We'll go over what might be best for you, what are the general rates, what you can expect, and what they look like. Writing cold emails, that's how you get clients. I actually will give you a couple of templates so you can just edit and send. So easy, you guys. Take the thought right out of it. LinkedIn optimization. So my clients are actually finding me and they're doing it through LinkedIn. So I can help you figure out how to make your profile more grabbing, pop up in search results. So you actually have to do way less client acquisition and you can just focus on writing, which helps you build your income over time. Discovery calls, those are kind of like, I don't want to call them interviews. They're when you and your client get on a phone call to figure out if you are good working with each other. So it's not an interview. It's like a cohesive conversation where you can say yes or no. I help with those. I help with you figuring out what your rates are, what's a sustainable rate, and how you can go about increasing that rate. We go over general LinkedIn strategy, what helps with the algorithm and how you can get seen. Organizational strategies. I have so many like Excel spreadsheets that I just send you for figuring out like leads, rates, everything like that, that you can just like save and edit. So organized. Deadlines, spreadsheets, everything like that. Take the thought right out of organization, how to network the right way and how not to be shut down, how not to be too pushy, everything like that. I can help with that. How to scale, how to grow your business, how to be sustainable in the long run, and how to write, research, and edit. So those are the big ones. And that's actually included in the portfolio building package as well. And those are all included in the course. Like I said, definitely the biggest bang for your buck right there. Okay, so if this was the live webinar, I always end with a frequently asked questions. So you guys couldn't make it tonight. I totally understand that. We are all super busy people from different time zones. But if you ever can make it to the live webinar, I definitely recommend it because I always try and make time to answer your questions because I know everyone is individualized and I really do believe in authentic, personalized education. So yeah, that is it. Thank you guys for being here. My name, once again, is Janelle Borowski. I own Willow Bark Health Writing. That's my website right there, willowbarkwriting.com. You can go there, click around, see what I have to offer. I have like other resources too. The newsletter's there, free tips. If you have any other questions, definitely shoot me an email, willowbarkwriting@gmail.com. I'm super active on LinkedIn too. You can always send me a DM right there. That is all we have for today. Thank you so much. This is the first webinar in a series of webinars, so keep an eye out for other free content coming my way. And yeah, thanks guys. Bye. All right.